Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here early this morning. The purpose of these calls is really to keep the lines of communication open. I love the conversations with our constituents, and this is just another way during the pandemic for us to stay in touch. I've been the executive director now for 18 months. I came in, for those of you who I haven't met or spoken, I came to Cancer Support Community in October of 2021. And as you know, we're all still working from home, and we will talk about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to give you an update. It's a good time to talk about what's happening with the office, talk about 2021, looking forward to 2022, and then opening up for questions. So like Donna said, after every topic, I will stop, see if you have any questions. Feel free to put those in the chat. We are going to talk about, first, looking back on 2021. I can't believe we're going into second quarter already. We are going to talk about how many people we served, the programs, etc. I will then get into the office building sale, which I know is a very hot topic right now, and talk about reopening. That's very exciting. We are looking toward reopening and starting to welcome people back into the office, and then talk a little bit about 2022. So let's get started. So our impact for 2021, we saw a tremendous increase in the number of people that we were able to serve last year. Part of that is because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but we were able to do more outreach last year as things were starting to open up a little bit. We served 2,755 people, which is more than double what we served in 2021. In 2021, we served just over 1,000 people. We had about 200 more visits than we did in 2020. Am I getting my years mixed up? Hold on a second. Yes, 200 more visits than in 2020. And the four pillars of educational workshops, support group sessions, healthy lifestyle classes, and individual support, all of those really increased, except for healthy lifestyle classes. And part of that was because some of our classes were a limited term, like, X number of weeks. And so they're really considered an educational workshop. But we did have some of our healthy lifestyle classes that did not come back virtual. So great news. We were able to outreach to more people. We were able to help more people in our community, and saw a great impact in our numbers. We did receive some great participant feedback. As you know, we do a participant survey every year. People told us 96% said that they gained useful treatment information. 95% felt more connected because of Cancer Support Community and our support groups. 90% felt more empowered to manage their illness. 86% experienced a better quality of life. Excuse me. And 85% felt better able to cope with distress. And so those are really some of the measurements that are important to us and important to our participants. This full impact report is available on our website. If you just go to the About Us section, and you can take a look at it there. And it's very helpful for us to, let me back up a little bit. The reason we count this information, sorry, Donna. The reason we count this information is because we want to measure our impact in the community from year to year. And if we're not serving more people, we need to figure out why. In addition, when we're applying for grants and corporate donors, et cetera, they are asking for this information. They want to know what impact, how is their money being spent? If they make a donation to Cancer Support Community, Valley, Ventura, Santa Barbara, where is that money going? How many people are we helping? And so that's the reason that we, have people fill out the new visitor form. That's the reason that we're asking for some of the demographic information. And none of that is shared except in a very broad scope to our funders. So we appreciate you taking the time to fill out that information. So I will pause while I take a drink. And if anybody has any questions on this, I'm happy to answer. No? Okay. Let's move on to the building sale. So as you know, our office building is for sale. It has been on the market since before I joined the organization. And unfortunately, it fell out of escrow last month. We had been in escrow since June. And this is all public information now, so I can talk a little more about it. The buyer had intended to build a self-storage facility on our property. He was going to level the building and build a beautiful self-storage. At the same time, so as we progressed through the months and he was doing his inspections, et cetera, the city apparently was receiving numerous applications for other self-storage buildings in the community. And so the city staff decided to make a recommendation to the city council to halt all self-storage plans with a moratorium. And it really put us in limbo. So the city council had a meeting. They voted to put the moratorium into place. At the next meeting, we did attend the meeting virtually. We were all on Zoom, and we spoke and we asked the city to exclude us from the moratorium because we had already been in escrow, and the buyer was there, and he spoke about some of the sizable investment that he had made already in inspections and design work and things like that. The city council did decide that they still needed to go forth with the moratorium, and so they extended it for at least a year. Unfortunately, but not unexpectedly, the buyer canceled escrow right after the city council meeting, which is he's has full rights to do that. And so we are back on the market. We have a great real estate team. They are working on actively marketing our property. There has been quite a bit of interest, but nothing in writing. So we are back on the market. And I just wanted to assure everybody that we are financially stable. There was an article in the Acorn that used some phrases that I probably wouldn't have used, like dire financial situation, I think was the phrase. Yes, the sale of our building will really give us money to put in an investment account and have that money working for us, as opposed to us pouring money into the building. In 2021, we really worked within our budget and cut costs where we could. We received a very generous estate gift from one of our donors, and our expenses did not exceed our income. So we have reserves in the bank. We are operating within our budget, and so we're in a really good financial place. So if the building sells, that will really have a great impact on our reserves. We will be able to put that money and invest it. We have a group, a board of directors that are monitoring our investment account. And that money now will really help us to grow that investment account. As you can imagine, selling the building would be a sizable deposit in that account. So I just wanted to assure everybody that we are not in dire straits. Yes, the sale of the building will be a good thing for us long-term in our long-term financial stability. You know, we just had our 30th year anniversary last year. We want to make sure we're here another 30 years. We want to ensure that we can continue to provide the level of support groups that we provide. And we want to ensure that we can continue to provide those at no cost to our participants. That is something that we have always promised to the community. So let's talk about a lease versus a purchase. We have done much analysis on this, and it makes more financial sense in the long term for us to lease a property as opposed to purchasing another building. It's actually good for us at this time. There's a lot of properties available. We had just started to look when we fell out of escrow, so we pulled back. There's no point in us looking right now. The timing is just not right. And leasing a property would be less expensive than the monthly maintenance that it takes to maintain our own property. We probably don't need as big of an office. As you know, through COVID, we've learned that many things can be done remotely. Many of our support groups have really thrived in the remote, Zoom environment. And we don't need to have all of our staff in the office every single day. So I'll talk about that a little bit next, I think, about transitioning back into the office, but we're really looking at more of a flexible workspace situation and probably a smaller footprint. So that's what we're looking toward. So it is time for us to move forward with reopening and welcoming people back into the facility. Yes, if the building goes back into escrow and ultimately sells, we will have to transition again for a little while as we move, but we're just not there yet. Okay, so questions on that?
Good morning, Monica. It's Kathy.
Hi, Miss Kathy Cole. How are you?
I'm here with my neck brace. I'm doing the best I can, but I wouldn't miss an opportunity to be with all of you.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, just a question, and it's financial, and I don't know how much you can share, but if you have interest again in the building to sell, and there's lots of leased property, is it possible to move into a lease situation when you have more of a committed buyer maybe than waiting until you're in escrow and then your choice of building opportunities may not be there? Or is it too difficult to have two different sets of financial responsibilities for two places?
Are you talking about leasing out our current property?
While you're waiting for another escrow in your current building, can you transition to a lease building?
Oh,
got
it.
While you have all of the opportunities out there, or is that just an impossible financial situation?
Financially, that would be a huge burden for us because we still have maintenance on this building. We still have, yes, it would be tough. And it wouldn't make sense for us because, well, our realtors don't feel like anytime soon that market is going to change. Okay. More and more employers are looking to downsize. People are now have more options to work from home, and so they feel like we're in a good place. But it would be almost like a double house payment for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but we're also open to. Well, we were until we decided to move back into the building. We were listed both as a sale and a lease in case somebody wanted a 12-month lease or something and the building worked for them. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out either, but we're open to different things. Thank you.
Thank you so
much. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Any other questions on this? Donna, we don't have any in the chat. Group is quiet today. Okay, let's move on to the reopening. So after much discussion, we have set a target date of May 2nd for our reopening. We are very excited. It will be a slow transition. We are calling it phase 1. We did a participant survey, received hundreds of responses with regards to people's comfort level in returning to in person? What did they prefer? Did they like the hybrid? Did they like remote? Did they like with a virtual? Were they excited to come back? And we heard loud and clear that people are ready to come back again. However, there's a good number of our participants that like the option for remote. And so we are looking at a hybrid model of keeping some of our support groups and some of our activities remote. We are looking at bringing back our mind-body classes first, and staff, at least on a part-time basis. And then also we are looking at the possibility of some of our support groups and some of our programs being hybrid. So you can dial in from home. We'll have you on a screen, and then there can be people in the office also participating in that same event, whatever that is, support group or workshop. We've done a lot of fact finding, I guess. We've talked to the professional advisory board. For those of you who don't know, we have a professional advisory board made up of different entities within the medical community: doctors, nurses, counselors, and we have been in close contact with them about their recommendations. Obviously, the board has been involved, and the staff. We will, like I said, bring staff in part-time, and the mind-body classes. We have not decided exactly which ones yet. We are working diligently on this in the month of April. There are safety protocols that we need to make sure are in place. We're looking at both the CDC recommendations and what are the hospital protocols. When we talked to the professional advisory board, they felt very comforted by the fact that we are going to follow what the hospitals are doing as far as masking, even though the county may say, you know, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to have a mask. We are going to follow what the hospitals are doing. We feel like that's a good model for us. So we are preparing the office to re-enter. We haven't been there in a couple of years, just periodically, but not really as a team. So we are going to transition staff back in, at least part-time, and we will communicate this to our participants, through our support groups, through our weekly email blasts, through our social media. We will have signage at the office. It will be a little bumpy as we, you know, get used to these new safety protocols and frequent cleanings and things like that. Getting used to the new equipment. We will try and work all of that out before we open the doors on May 2nd. But we will also communicate our safety protocols, whether or not we are going to require fully vaccinated in order to visit us in person. So all of that will be communicated to you. If you're not receiving our weekly emails, which come out on Monday morning, I encourage you to let us know so that we can make sure that you are receiving those, because that will be a critical piece of this communication plan. Questions on reopening?
Monica, it's me again.
Oh,
Hi, me again. And then Nancy, Kathy, and then Nancy.
I'm so sorry. Was I interrupting? I wanted to ask if there would be any kind of grand opening or something, marketing to let people know, and have some kind of exciting reopening to let people know that they can come and visit, and what the plans are going forward.
I would imagine we will make some grand announcement. You know, we'll definitely take down that banner out front that says we are not here, and maybe put up a grand reopening banner. We're trying to, you know, we talked about fully reopening, and we talked about this slow transition, and it seems like the transition into it will be a little bit easier to manage.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to make sure that we are ready before we bring in support groups. And that's why we're starting with the mind-body classes. But people are welcome to come see us. We will post which hours we will be open. And if you need us, you know, we will be there. Somebody will be there. And so we will continue to communicate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Nancy had a question.
Yes, I do. I'm in the imagery class on Tuesdays, and Paula Getty-Shear, I think, would, who I hope will be able to join us a little bit later this morning, knows less than I do. So if there's a way that she can be brought in, because she leads the group, I mean, I'm just speaking because she asks me every Tuesday, do I know any more information? So I know for a lot of us in our group, we're not all in the same area. So you're saying mind body, so that would probably include the imagery class. And she's not quite sure about coming back or not coming back.
Quite possibly it would. I know that Kaio has been talking to our facilitators and our volunteers that lead these classes. And so some of them we're waiting to hear back from, but you know, if you talk to her, if she hasn't called us directly, she's welcome to do that.
Well, maybe that's the secret.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kaio would like to address that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kaio.
Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. It's so good to see you and then everybody. Yes, and I have been meeting, one-on-one with our support group facilitators, and then I will talk to Paula.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I will answer all the questions, and then Monica, Donna, and I, and Jessica, we all try to send a cohesive message. So we'll make sure to what the messages are, and then I'll talk to Paula.
Okay, well, I hope I didn't speak out of turn, but I just
thought,
you know, about that. I'm very anxious to come back. I have been vaccinated more times than I can even tell you.
Sure,
Yes.
sure. Yeah, I really appreciate your feedback, Nancy. And then I'm asking our support group members and Mind Body class members and then all constituents. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, for letting us know.
She's not angry at me.
Oh, no, I'm sure. No. Communication is important. We can't assume that people are, I mean, we can't assume people are reading the email. We can't assume people are following us on social media. And so that's where we're trying all these different avenues to make sure, like Kaio said, that it's one message. Here's what's happening. You know, we want you to hear it from us, which is another reason for these calls, especially as we put this building on the market, the pandemic, people were concerned, you know, so it's important. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to meeting you in person. Any other questions on reopening? Okay. So let's talk about 2022. We are so excited to be planning in-person events. As you know, we do not charge for our services. And the reason we can do that is because of the support of the community with our fundraising events, with our grants and foundations that have supported us through the years, with our donors, with our corporate partners. And so first up this year is our Hope Walk. It is June 5th, which, if you haven't realized, is National Cancer Survivors Day. We felt that the Hope Walk would be a great larger scale celebration for our survivors. And so we've combined National Cancer Survivors Day with the walk. We will be at Cal Lutheran. And we will have special recognition for our survivors throughout the day, including a special t-shirt when you register for the walk. We will walk around the campus, so there will not be any street crossings or things like that. We will have music. Donna and her team are planning kids activities. There will be food trucks there. And we encourage everybody to sign up by May 4th in order to meet the t-shirt deadline to make sure that you are guaranteed a t-shirt. So that is exciting. I think that will be a great day to bring everybody together and celebrate survivorship, as well as all of us being in person again. And we will have safety protocols in place. Those will be on the website, and we will continue to communicate those to you. Then in September 16th is our Celebration of Hope garden party. It will be at Los Robles Greens. And if you haven't seen the facility, not the golf course, but the event facility, it's outdoors at Los Robles Greens. It really feels like you're at a resort. I have been to Los Robles Greens so many times over the years, but have never seen that section of their event center, and it's just beautiful. So I encourage you to keep that date on your calendar. We will be serving heavy hors d'oeuvres and have a program to honor our Dear Cancer It's Me recipients. This is the 10-year anniversary of Dear Cancer It's Me and our affiliate. And so we are going to take this opportunity to bring some of our scholarship recipients back, and you can hear from them in person. And there will be a live auction. And I know the committee has some other activities planned, as well as music and dancing. And so we hope that you will be available to come and celebrate with us, and also celebrate our Dear Cancer It's Me recipients. In November, we are planning our second night of Remembrance, and we do plan for this to be in person. The first one was last year, and it really was an impactful evening for those of us who have lost someone to cancer to join together right before the holidays, which can be a very difficult time, we know, especially if you've lost someone to cancer or lost someone, period. November is National Caregivers Month, and we just thought the timing of that would be important to do it in early November and come together and honor those that we've lost. So please save the date for, well, as soon as we have a date, we will communicate that to you. Let's see what else. For 2022, we are going to be focusing internally. We'll be focusing also on our planned giving program. When we talk about long-term financial stability, this is really an area of opportunity for us to make sure that people know the different ways that they can support our mission and support our work, and help us to ensure long-term stability of the organization. And so we are going to be more proactive with that planned giving program and information. So you will see more about that. In the area of programs, Kaio has been working so hard on bringing, getting ready for reopening. We are talking a lot about our program needs. What do our participants need? How are we going to deliver those programs to them? Will it be hybrid model? Will it be virtual? Will it be in person? And so that is a huge undertaking for us right now. And it will continue through the year, because as things change, or the needs change, or the pandemic changes, we will need to be able to reevaluate those things. So please be patient with us as we go through that, but also please give us your feedback. Social events will be on the calendar more regularly, planning for those to be in person at this point. And then our educational workshops will continue, and that will, the format of those will really depend on the speakers, whether they are comfortable with in person, whether they are available in person, and or whether some of them would like it to continue to be virtual. So that's really what we're doing with educational workshops, depending on the speakers. We are also, one of our focuses is to continue to outreach to the underserved communities and increase our presence in those communities. We added a professional advisory board member from the Lompoc, Santa Maria area, Karen Ortiz, and she has been very helpful in connecting us with some organizations that we can get the information out about cancer support community and make sure that people are getting the services that they need, and know that and know that they're available. I don't know if you know, but there is an affiliate also in San Luis Obispo. So that Santa Maria corridor area is really something that we're both talking about collaborating on, so that we make sure that that area is served. And we recently joined a coalition in Santa Paula. It is the Santa Paula Social Services Coalition. And their mission is to bring nonprofit resources to that Santa Paula community. For many years, that community has felt like they're not educated on the services that are available to them. And so we've we've joined the coalition. It probably has about 30 nonprofits that have joined, and it's growing every time we meet. And this year, the plan is to do an outreach event every month. And so we will keep you posted on those exciting things happening in that arena. I mentioned the weekly email. We're trying to really streamline our communication out to you. We don't want to fill your inbox too much, but we do want you to receive the highlights and the important information. And so we've decided to go to one weekly email, and I'm hoping that you've seen it. It comes out first thing on Monday mornings, and it's just a real quick update on anything, any special announcements, what's happening with programs this week, and maybe a couple of programs that are coming up, updates on our fundraising events, and any new announcements that we need to make you aware of. And that is one of the vehicles that we will use to communicate the reopening and the hybrid program offerings. So again, another plug for the weekly email. If you're not receiving it, please check your email box or check your, hopefully we're not going to your spam, but I get it. And let us know so that we can make sure that you're receiving those. And then the last thing I wanted to let you know is that we are redesigning our website. It is been quite an undertaking, but we're making some progress. We have a new homepage that has not been released yet, but the purpose of this is to really bring it up to date and make it more user-friendly, to make sure that the key information that people are looking for is very easily accessible, and to make sure that it's mobile friendly. So many of us are using our phones more than maybe a laptop or an iPad. And so we just want to make sure that all those forms of communication are easily accessible through the website. And so we are working on that, and we hope to launch it in second quarter. So that is something new and exciting to come. Okay, that's what I had on our agenda for today. Any other questions from folks about 2022 or reopening, or anything that we talked about, or any general questions you might have? Nancy has a question.
I just want to, no, I don't have a question. I have a compliment. I am thrilled to get the information that you're sending out on Mondays. I appreciate that. So
Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Yay. So be like Nancy. Thank you.
And I'm
Nancy.
impressed with all the hard work that's going on to get us back. It's tremendous. Thank you.
Thank you. We have an amazing team. We get together every Monday without fail. That's our first thing Monday morning. We talk, we collaborate, we ask each other a lot of questions. We try and, stay checked in that way. So thank you. That means a lot to us, Barbara.
Sure.
Anybody else have questions?
How are you handling volunteers for these events that are coming up? Because that's something I used to do a lot.
The fundraising events?
Yes.
Yes, we are going to be in need of volunteers, and we do have somebody on the committee that is handling that. And Donna, I saw you come off mute. Did you want to address that?
Yes, Marilyn will be reaching out to all of our volunteers if she hasn't already, I'm pretty sure Susan, she mentioned you, so you might want to reach out to her. But we will need several volunteers, not just for the events, but for the prep of the events.
Haven't heard
We can
anything,
meet.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get a hold of her.
I'll shoot her an email after.
Thank you. And Jessica and I talked about office volunteers, and I don't know if that will be part of phase one, but we will keep them informed if you are on that list. You know, there will be some retraining and things like that that we want to make sure that we're very diligent about. So that's more to come on that also. Okay, last call for questions. And if nothing else, I appreciate all of you tuning in. And you can always give us a call or send us an email if you have burning questions. You don't have to wait until these virtual coffee sessions. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we will meet you soon.
Okay, bye.